Today's episode is brought to you by Munchie Mug, the world's #1 premium no-spill snack cup. Listen to today's episode for a special offer from Munchie Mug. Munchie Mug, making your life less messy. Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast. And alongside me in our state-of-the-art recording studio / the due south wall of our bedroom where the magic happens. By the magic, I mean the cat sleeping in our bed, Fritter, is my lovely wife, co-host, and CFO, Melissa Nickerson.
Hey there.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks, Backseaters, for coming along for the ride. We are always grateful to have you wherever you may be listening, at the gym, in your home.
In the carpool line.
In the carpool line. Maybe you just finished drop-off. Maybe you are on a road trip and you are just tuning this out because you cannot listen to your kids for one more second, and we are the one podcast that you guys like and feel like you can listen to in front of your kids, and they only moderately hate. I will tell you about a gig, put a pin in that.
Okay.
About kids moderately hating me in about a second.
Fantastic.
Either way, thank you for tuning in. We are so grateful. I'll just tell it right now.
Okay.
Quick weekend recap. So this last weekend, I was in Royal Oak, Michigan, outside of Detroit, a few miles. It's quite a few miles, actually. It's well outside of Detroit. Lovely club.
Is it a burb?
It is very much a burb. I did that joke, on stage, and made the video about how, like, it's at 11 Mile, and, there's a big 3 miles. It changed a lot from 8 Mile. It's very quaint there. It's very nice. Also, one of those cities that you're like, I would be bored of you so fast, because I've been there. This is my third time there. I've middled. I middled for Chris there years ago, and then Taylor there a while back. I know the businesses. I know the
chains.
The dessert coffee shop, which is very good.
Dessert?
Yeah, it's called like dessert something, and it's better than you would think. Because normally when someone puts dessert in the name of the coffee shop, you're like, this is going to be garbage. I don't want this.
Well, they're covering their bad espresso with sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was actually quite good. And then they have another one. It's like Atomic Coffee or something like that. And that one's really good, though. The one, they have the better breakfast option. They get the oats. This is not important to anybody, but the point is, I know the things that are there, and I've been there 3 times, and I'm like, I've shut Royal Oak down. Yeah, I know the bars, I know the brewery, I know the coffee shops, I know the vintage shop, I know the record shop, I know the things to do here. But the shows are fantastic. Or as I wrote on the wall, as I signed the wall, Mark Ridley's Comedy Club. Thank you for having me. I loved all the shows except one, and it was the last show. The last show was just brutal. Late show Saturday.
Yeah.
I was talking to Alec Parent, who was opening, and it just said, we were like, it's just the worst combination when you get them, when they're tired and chatty, like low energy and chatty. Give
for
me
comedy. Yeah.
Chatty is annoying, but chatty I can try and manage, because chatty high energy, you're like, well, maybe I'll tap into it. The low energy, I'll take low energy and quiet all day over high energy and chatty. Low energy is not super fun, but at least they give you a chance. Chatty is hard to deal with because you're literally not hearing my jokes here. I have to.
No.
But the low energy chatty combo just makes for a pretty miserable 53 minutes up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if it's your last show, at the club, you're just like, ugh, done.
Well, exactly. And
I almost made a sports reference.
Yeah, no, we love when you make sports references.
I was gonna say it's like fourth quarter. I'm done.
No. Nope. I'm here for Mel's struggling sports references all day long.
What about fourth quarter and you're already like down so far you can't catch up?
No, I mean, I didn't lose the weekend. What it is it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. That's what it is. Is you're like, oh, this was a great weekend, but
that show.
Yeah. It's like you're a batter and your team won, and but you struck out your last at bat when you could have had another hit. That's kind of what it feels like when you're like, I mean, overall, still a win, and I'm pretty happy with my performance here, but
you got paid.
Yeah. But those shows are great. Thank you, Backseaters, for coming out, and welcome to any new Backseaters from the Detroit metropolitan area. That part of the country is like very close. Like, people drive, they're like, we drove here from Dayton. I was like, that's probably so far. or somebody, this is like I got gagged by a thing that they do there. Someone's like, we drove all the way here from Canada. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. How far is that now? Like, it's like 30 minutes. I'm like, all right. This is a regional joke that you guys do a bunch. You've worked this line
on the new people in town.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm new in town. Nice. And then Sunday, I went and I did like a volunteer appreciation event for churches, which I've done a bunch of those.
Yeah.
And those gigs can be, the challenge of those gigs is the age range of people in the room.
That's the problem with church.
I mean, church events, they just vary so much. And like couples event, banger, right? You know, like ticketed event, sure. But it's volunteers and teens volunteer. And then there's people with babies too. So it was, it's the diapers to diapers thing. Like, and I'm in Beaumont, Texas.
Sunday night.
It was a good gig and it was a good room, but you're just looking around the room and you're going, I'll do my cyberbullying bit and then I'll see like a third of the old timer crowd have no idea or context or reference for any of that. And then the teens laugh at that. And then I'll go into like the bits about aging and like the old people love that and the middle aged like that and the teens are back on their phones. And then I do the joke about like, none of you were verified on Instagram. I got 120K on TikTok. And I heard some of the teens go, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's their metric.
They're like, that's crazy. That's unbelievable, you know? And then, but that joke bombed in the room.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, but it is.
You can't get them all.
No, and Johnny W. said this, I think it was, or maybe it was Hawkins, I don't remember, but somebody said, like, it's not bad when there's teens or kids in the room. You just need them to sit with their family. And the nightmare for a comedian in an event like that is when all the teens are in a row together.
Front row.
Because you just can't stop looking at them and feeling their judgment. And it feels great when they laugh, but you can't hold them for 55 minutes.
No.
And you're also up there going like, this isn't really like for you. And
it's awesome if you want to participate.
Yeah.
But you're not the demo.
No, and they're
it would be weird if you were.
Oh, and that's true. They're like, oh, we brought in a comedian. That's going to be fun. Or they're skeptical and they're like, I love Fluffy. And you're like, well, Fluffy couldn't perform at this event. And I'm not going to be that for you. I just feel myself disappointing them in real time.
But they've also never probably seen a comic.
Yeah.
They're underage, you know?
I'm not going to drive them back to it. Speaking of which, got a couple dates left here. One date left on the seasonal headliner tour. It ends today. The tour ends today on October 19th in Philadelphia, bringing my first. I mean, I guess we did the weekend or school night headliner tour. I guess this is my second tour I've done as a headliner.
Yeah, because you did Philly.
This is my second tour as a headliner. This will be, and it ends today in Philadelphia at Helium Comedy Club. You guys come out to that. That'd be swell. And then we're kind of starting to build the 2023 dates. Right now, we have just 2 on sale. St. Louis, January 6th and 7th. And then Denver is on sale. Comedy Works on February 8th. So it's like you said before, it's crazy. You know, we did that long list.
That you read. I mean, even that poster. So many.
Yeah, we might pay someone to do that this time.
So many dates.
But want to give a special shout out to our patrons who were on the Zoom hang yesterday. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's just a way that you can give a little more to the pod and all things Dustin Nickerson comedy and get a little more, get some stickers, get some merch, get some discounts, depending on the level that you're on, you get the Nickerson Christmas card. You get a free cameos, a monthly Zoom hang, lots of fun stuff on there. And we appreciate your support. And yesterday was a good one. We were talking a lot of Halloween costumes. And some of it is like a launching pad for things that we're going to talk about today. I want to discuss Halloween candy. I have another AirPod story to tell you. We want to talk about Halloween and Instagram. We want to give a Bingo Dingo review of our Florence and the Machine concert. First, we want to say that we were talking about this last week of kids making plans. Yeah. And our son, or I think I prompted this, but our son asked something he hadn't asked before. Was it this last weekend when he was trying to make plans?
So I had a plan on Friday night. And it was like 7 to 9.
Uh-huh.
And like we had a whole day of things. And so essentially Joel wanted to get to a movie in Chula Vista. With local friends. So
yeah, which is like 20 minutes south of us.
I think
30
they went to one of those
traffic.
Theaters that, like the fancy chairs and stuff.
Right.
And
like the recliners and stuff.
Yeah. And so there was a reason to it. And then our other daughter wanted to get to North County, Rancho Bernardo.
Right.
Which, they both got to those. But it just made for like this weekend of like trade-offs. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, you have to watch your little sister this night and then you can go. And
yeah, I would say correct me if I'm wrong here, the way that our family feels my career the most, especially as our children get older, is the Friday night, Saturday day plans, events, commitments, which I am gone for.
I would say it starts Thursday night. I think Thursday night is like the hardest night in our house because
it's the day I leave ready. Usually.
You have tests, you have essays due, you have assignments, you have stuff to pack for school. And then you're anticipating the weekend.
Yeah.
And like every event is on Friday.
Right.
So it's just like everyone has stuff to do Thursday night and everyone's tired from the week.
Right.
And yeah, you're usually out by then. And
I would say I
literally on Thursday night, I was like, this is what you all want to do this weekend. This is what I can manage.
Right.
And so our son's idea was that he get in an Uber and go to Chula Vista, which is like 20 plus minutes away.
Right.
And
which I think that brings up an interesting discussion. And I would love to hear your guys' emails and thoughts to dontmakemecomebackthere@gmail.com.
He's 15 and a half.
At what age do you feel comfortable putting your kid into an Uber? Now, let me say this. I don't love putting you in an Uber by yourself.
Right.
Like bad stuff has happened in Ubers and Lyfts and that's been very well documented. Yep. If you are in an Uber and a Lyft, which you might do 4 times a year, if that, pretty limited. And you share with me the ride updates and I'm like tracking it very closely.
I think the companies have gotten better about holding their...
and you can choose like people who have done a lot of rides. That to me is the key of like, oh, this person's been on the app for a long time. But,
yeah, that's a good point. I don't choose that way, but...
Well, you don't like, you can cancel it right away. If you look at it and you're like, oh, this person has a low review, has only done so many rides, and you can cancel them right away. But I mean, it feels just bizarre to put your child into a stranger's car. To me, I don't know that I would ever feel comfortable with that.
I think there's got to be a difference between like during the day and at night.
Right.
Also
where you live. Yeah. If big it's like city, a mile small city. I mean, there's,
But yeah, evening to Chula Vista was like, no.
That's freeway driving.
Yeah.
But that's multiple cities away. And it's actually going to drop him in an area too that he doesn't know. Yeah. He doesn't know the Chula Vista Mall.
Well, and so what I ended up doing...
He also doesn't know that cool people don't go to Chula Vista on a Friday night. You don't leave San Diego to go to the Vista, baby.
So I ended up going to my thing. My thing was 7 to 9. I was super late.
Mom's got her thing tonight.
I picked up a friend for him because I think there's strength in numbers.
Yes.
And I dropped him in a different neighborhood, City Heights.
Uh-huh.
I know that girl a little bit, and then her brother or her aunt drove them all.
Right.
And then I had his Find My Phone, app, and he was in the ocean. That's where Find My Phone was showing him.
In the ocean?
In the ocean. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I took a screenshot. I thought I sent it to you. So like if this is the theater, Joel's like contact was in the ocean. Like that's where
Joel is gone.
And so I texted him the screenshot and then he took a picture of the theater.
Oh, there you go.
He's like, Mom, I'm here. And
what a funny time for GPS to be
and
out.
Then it was like,
well, my son is gone.
It's 10 p.m. at night.
My son is
are you at the docks?
Yeah, he's out to sea. My son is now a pirate. This is like because we were having this discussion yesterday about like solo trick-or-treating and like trailing and like strength in numbers. And I know there is the idea
Gloria.
you got to let them go sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and there is a gender thing, just reality to it, that you're like you feel more comfortable with your son walking around than your daughter. And, the reality of it is like, I even all that said, I don't know. I'm like, Joel, you'll get an Uber when you like
honestly
have a job and pay for your own Uber.
Do you think they have an age on the Ubers? Maybe like
they probably
16
do
or something.
But we've had like he's talked about like his friends taking Ubers, right?
I know. I just like how legally social media you have to say you're 13.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know what
they get sued or something.
Yeah. There are laws and rules for transferring incomes and transferring essential school buses, but neither Uber nor Lyft falls into that category. Right now, anyone under the age of 18 who requests a ride from Uber or Lyft is not breaking the law, but they are going against Uber and Lyft regulations. Bingo. We're done. That's great. I would also feel super uncomfortable with it as the driver, for the record.
Yeah, do you have to be 18 to be an Uber driver?
I would imagine so,
yeah.
but I don't. But I think that
I'm just curious.
That if I were an Uber driver, which I'm a comedian, which means I'm not far at any time for being an Uber driver. That's never that far away. If I went and like picked up a kid, I'd be like, oh no, this is not happening. No, there's no way you're gonna tip me.
Now you're a bus driver.
Yeah. Well, now you're alone with a minor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not a win for anybody.
You know what Uber drivers don't have to deal with?
What do you mean? Like youth?
Well, they aren't allowed to ride with children and solo, so they don't have to deal with snacks on their car floors.
Oh, good segue. They do have to deal with people puking.
That's true. That's drunk adults, though.
But they don't have to deal with people doing Smart Pop or Cheerios. Cheerios, Oops All Berries, whatever it may be. Guys, if you're not familiar with Munchie Mug is the best spill-proof cup on the market. Great product. Whatever you got in your life, in your car, in your house, in your movie theater, if you're just feeling really generous.
Just snacking it up.
Yeah, just throw an AirPod in and just snack out of this Munchie Mug, and it's not going to spill. It's dishwasher safe. It's made right here in the USA. It comes in a variety of designs and colors. And if you go to munchiemug.com and use promo code DON'TMAKEME, that's all one word, don't make me, no apostrophe, you're going to get 25%. Excuse me, got a burp right in the middle of that. Keep it in, Steven. That's a hot tea, hot lemon water burp right there. If you use promo code Don't Make Me at munchiemug.com, you're going to get 25% off your entire order. Munchie Mug.
Making your life less messy.
Let's dive into a couple things here. Mm-hmm. The great AirPod debate continues on in our family. Okay. I am lightening my harshness on this. Your emails, backseaters, have helped me. I understand.
They're swaying Dustin.
That there is a generational thing, that I've got some real boomer in me, where I don't love when someone has an AirPod in at a discussion. I
feel disrespected.
I think it's disrespectful. I think that we've covered this at length. What you were communicating to that person that you were in a conversation with is that they're not enough. I need to have something going on in the background here. I need Manchester Orchestra. I mean, that's not what the kids are listening to entertain me while I have a conversation with you. But I also am willing to go, hey, generational differences. If they don't view that to each other, this isn't my thing. I get it. But also, as I said to you, this generation did not invent headphones.
No, they didn't.
The headphones have been around for a minute, and our generation was the one that had the first time where you could have one in. So,
right.
But again, all that aside, I will relent. Where it is starting to like creep into me a little bit, where I'm like, okay, you can have that socially, is when people are at work. In like a customer service industry, that they have it. That's like another level. I'm like, I mean, you're not really even, your job is to listen to the customer, and this is impeding your ability to do the job. Like I went into a hotel recently. I sent you a picture of someone that had an AirPod in and their dog was there. I'm like, you're hardly at work. You're hardly, but then I will relent that. I'll scale that back one more and I'll go, I will say that Gen Z's mindset towards work, I actually like a lot of it. I like the idea of knowing like this company actually doesn't believe in you. This company isn't trying to like build you. This is a job, baby.
Yeah.
Like this is not a career for a lot of you. This is a job for you. Make as much money as you can, being as happy as you can doing it. And there is kind of this movement, and I think it comes from inheriting a bad economy with no chance of buying a home, a lot of college debt, the reality that your college degree isn't going to get you very far necessarily. Jobs are like a real formality to them in some regards. Like my dad's generation and before that was like, you can get a job and you can, like my dad was the first person in the family to graduate from high school, got like a pretty good job, owned a home. Union job, didn't make a ton of money, but as a single parent, owned a home, raised a family in a pretty area. I mean, we lived in a bad area, but like in a city. Yeah. It was great. And that reality is not a lot of those exist anymore. Certainly not own a home in that.
Right.
So I'll give you that one. I'll even give you the hotel check-in where you go, what are you making, $14 an hour? Mr. Marriott does not care about you. I've never seen people at hotels be less likely to charge me when I get the little thing from the snack area or whatever. When can I charge this to the room? They're like, yeah, just take it. I love it. Whatever. Take down the man. Rage Against the Machine. I love it. I love all that. This, I have not told you. I had not seen this one yet, and I had not experienced it yet. A flight attendant. Okay, I finally got you. The whole flight, the entire flight, he kept his AirPod in. He kept one AirPod in the entire flight. Now, that is not a job where you're using that as an old school Bluetooth. There's no calling. Melissa, he made the announcement with it in. He greeted us as we walked in, and he did the cart with the AirPod in.
He's like, 2 sugars?
And well, that was the funny thing is I watched him multiple times not hear what a person said. It's already hard to get that gets messed up all the time.
You have to repeat yourself constantly.
It's loud on a plane. It's very loud on a plane. Yeah. That's there all the time.
Okay.
How many sugars?
Cream.
2 cream. You want a snack? What do you have?
Pretzels.
We have almonds, granola, pretzels. Yeah.
Pretzel mix.
Yeah. Can I get one of each? Yeah, they just throw it at you. That's what I do. I ask for one of each sometimes, baby. They'll give it to you.
That's nuts.
If you want to defend him, you can. I thought, but I'm like, I think flight attendant, I don't know what a flight attendant makes, but I don't think that's a bad job.
It's not a bad job.
You know?
Okay. This is what it is.
Talk to me.
It's like you're checking into the ER and they have like a game on the radio.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And you go like, oh, hey, you're typing my, name. And you also like so-and-so just scored a run,
yeah, you
like, or like at our accountant's office, they got Fox blaring in the waiting room.
Right. So according to this, the median annual salary for a flight attendant as September 22 is $80,000. The top 90% of flight attendants make over 117, and the lowest 10% make about 50. So that's a decent job with huge perks.
I said an ER triage.
Yeah.
That's a
good job too.
Good paying job as well. I just think like luxury hospitality just is gone.
Well, I did text you where I said
customer
service is dead, and it's never been worse. And you know what? That's okay. I'm okay with that. We went into a coffee shop here in San Diego the other day. There were 3 employees behind a counter, no one doing anything. And they said, you order, and the menu and you order is on that tablet right there.
Yeah, and they didn't even look at us.
And then they went back to talking to each other. And you know what? I don't care. I don't need this to be a positive human interaction. I'm not coming here for this. If it is, great. If it's
great. Not, it's not.
Will I
I get my coffee.
Will I go back there again? Probably not. But
Yeah.
I if I lived in that area, maybe.
That kind of was coffee culture in Seattle.
Yeah.
But outside of Seattle, it wasn't.
Well, that's my old bit
And-
of like generally the meaner the I've never gotten that bit to work on stage, but I will at some point. But generally the meaner the coffee barista, the better the coffee. But
Yeah.
I was like, that's not even mean. That's just like you're not even doing this side of the job anymore. Which
I don't
again, let me make this clear so everyone hears. I don't even really care about that. I'm fine. Okay, I don't. The flight attendant.
It's the acceptance of what it is.
It's the acceptance of what it is.
This is this now.
When it impedes your ability to do the job, then I go. Then that's the old curmudgeon boomer in me, where I'm like, well, if your supervisor saw this, then you would
Get that plastic out of your ears.
Yeah, what are you doing here? You can't. What I was gonna say is, I don't even mind. I don't mind when the flight attendant. I joked with this. Like, sometimes you walk onto a flight and you just look at that crew and you go, "This is a 5-hour flight. I'm gonna see that drink cart one time.
Yep.
I'm gonna order double." Because that drink cart is coming one time.
That's just standard now.
Yeah, it's you're lucky to get a second visit on the cart. Again,
Rare.
Don't hear this as a boomer complaint, because what I don't mind is when I go to the bathroom and they're just sitting there on their phones with an AirPod in. Sure, what do I care? You can't.
That's what we're all doing.
You're not expected to constantly be going up the flight. You're not waiting on us hand and foot. If I get the free first class upgrade, they usually are. They're right on top of it on that stuff. But I do think that, like, he's like, I mean, to keep it in during the drink, again, please don't make me come back there, gmail.com. Email me and tell me I'm an old curmudgeon boomer and I don't understand it.
What if, like, a supervisor got all his staff, like, what if they had an incentive and then they, like, gave out a pair of AirPods? Like a raffle.
Yeah. Well, I am not so upset about it that I would complain about it. That I am not upset about. And maybe
just complain about it here.
Yeah, exactly. Very publicly. His name was also it's an airline thing. Like if I was on like a Frontier flight, I'd be like, well, yeah, I mean, you're barely here. And, but it was a Delta flight. And I was like, it was just a little surprising. That's all. Just a little, I'm 1,000 years old. I'm sorry.
I think it's just a generation thing.
I think what it is too, is I had this stance on AirPods and then everyone keeps correcting me and saying you're wrong, and then I give an inch and I give an inch and I give an inch, and then society keeps giving me another one and just like, oh yeah, well, you're okay with it now, but what about flight attendant? And there's gonna be a doctor who does it, and like you said, I'm gonna come in and he's gonna be like listening to my heart with the one
stethoscope.
Stethoscope, and then an air. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm 38. If I can't say that word right, it has no bearing on my life in any way whatsoever. If I ever write a joke about it, I'll look it up. But then he's gonna have an AirPod in the other.
Right, one ear in. Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, nurses did make a lot of TikToks. That was so funny because it was so angering to like the anti-vax crowd. They were these nurses are just making TikTok. Hey, they get breaks. Also, you're not doing something all the time. No job does something every second. Everybody gets breaks. Everybody's making TikToks at work, baby.
I mean,
no one more than me.
Yeah. If you can get a smoke break, you can get a TikTok break.
That's hilarious. That is oh my gosh.
Smoking corner, a TikTok corner. It's got a mural.
That is so funny, Melissa. The idea that this generation
in a ring light,
we have replaced the smoke break with the TikTok break, with the content break. We've gone from influenza to influencer, and that's so funny. Honestly, a way better choice than smoking.
Yeah. As far as the bad habits, smoking or social media.
Okay, we got a couple other things to get to here.
Okay.
Well, one of them you got to do. But the first of them is we have a thing coming up as parents right now. And one trope that you and I hate is when people are like, I stayed up and ate all my kids' candy. You know,
Oh, yeah, because it's like
yeah. That's exactly your stance on it.
it's goofy.
But I will
goofy from
yeah. But candy,
you bought it.
but
eat it.
I do think that this is a fun exercise, is that because candy's on everybody's mind right now. So what I wanted to do with you, Melissa, is a Halloween candy draft, meaning considering the candies that our children get this year, you get to choose one that you eat, and then I go to the next. Just a traditional draft, and we need to think about it in the sense that if you draft that one, you get that, I don't get that. All right, so it's a real strategy here.
Okay.
So we've got our 3 kids' candy buckets, whatever they are, pillows. Joel's 16 now. This is the draft of our kids' Halloween candy that we do get to steal, and the other doesn't get it. So you get the monopoly on that one.
Okay.
Now, because you are the oldest, you get the first pick. What is your number 1 draft pick of the candies that you get to steal that I don't?
Okay.
We're going to get 5 picks each. We're going to get 5 picks each because I don't know that there's 10 candies that we eat out of our.
I'm going classic M&Ms.
Classic M&Ms.
I love classic M&Ms. I love
that is
them.
a terrible pick because
I
I would have never picked that.
That's fine. I want them.
That's a waste of an early pick.
I don't do drafts.
Because you know what I'm taking now?
Reese's.
Now I get Reese's.
It's fine.
Oh, I've won this draft already. No.
You can have them.
No. You had to take Reese's, Mel. It's bad strategy. You're right. You don't do drafts. Classic M&Ms. All right. It's back to you. Number 2 pick.
Twix.
Okay. Much better second choice. Much better second choice.
Caramel. Yeah.
2 to me. My second round pick. Kit Kat.
Yeah, you can have that.
Really?
It's just crispy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's just...
Unless it's the dark chocolate ones, though.
Well, those are rare. Yeah. That was very... I like how you dismissed me that quickly. You're like, it's just crispy. All right, your third pick.
Third is Snickers.
Snickers.
Yeah.
Which is another one.
I've got a nut one and an M&M one. And
you're thinking of this as a medley. You're thinking I'm going to have one of each 5.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to have 5 candies tonight. And this is the order. Snickers is a good one for you. That is another one that I would not have taken. But
I've got 2 caramel ones.
You do. You're very caramel heavy right now. And I don't have a caramel yet. But that being said, my third is Butterfinger.
Yeah, and you can have that because that just gets stuck in my teeth. I'm at an age where I don't need to eat any more Butterfingers. Yeah, those have passed me.
It's like I hit that age with soda. Yeah. I'm that way, especially like a Mountain Dew, where I'm like I'll never need a Mountain Dew again. Right. Never again will I drink a Mountain Dew. It has no appeal to me whatsoever. No. Number 4.
Ooh, I was thinking a peppermint patty, but I'm not doing that one. I'm doing an Almond Joy.
Oh.
Because everyone's...
Wow.
You got to vary it a bit.
You really just took that right from me. I thought I was so safe with a late round Almond Joy. That is a devastating blow for me. A devastating blow. I was counting on Almond Joys so late. I didn't even know you liked Almond Joys.
I do like you've had a couple and then you're like, but an Almond Joy.
Man.
Well, get the Mounds.
No, Mounds are trash. No, Mounds, the almond is what makes it. The almond is what puts the joy in it.
It's fantastic.
Well, I am 100 grand, which is for me a first round quality, but I know the world doesn't value that. I don't know. I know that 100 grand is not valued as a number 1 overall pick, though it absolutely should be, in my opinion.
Right.
But I do have some caramel now.
And still crispy.
Oh yeah. I like a crispy candy.
Yeah.
This has been, by the way, 8 chocolates.
Oh yeah.
we have selected exclusively chocolate right here.
So we're number 5.
This is your
Number
last
5,
pick.
my last
The
pick.
last pick. The rest the kids get.
Mm.
Oh man, the anticipation.
I was gonna say Three Musketeers, but I think I'm gonna do just Hershey's.
Just a regular Hershey's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to have in there. Just not almonds, not anything. Just a straight up Hershey bars. You already got that almond joy.
I got that almond joy. Yeah, that's gonna do me good there.
Yeah. I have now the remaining of candies that I can take, and I think I will balance it with I need like a snacky kind, and I'm gonna go with peanut M&Ms, which I think they're the superior M&M anyways. But we did leave a lot out. I think that the maybe the most egregious one that we left out that maybe people will be upset about is Crunch Bars. But that's
but the 100 grain kind of solves that for you.
Yeah. What other ones are we missing here? Let's take a little look-see here. I am really surprised that you didn't take York peppermint patty.
Peppermint patty is, and not just the York, but like the little ones that you get at the movie theater.
Oh yeah. But you didn't take it. We have made very clear here is that we do not care for fruity candy. Because I like Swedish Fish, but no. Sour Patch Kids, Nerds, Gummy Bears.
I just don't need it.
I just don't need it, baby.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, we covered that pretty well, at least on this random picture of Halloween candy. Dots, yeah. I mean, that Dots is the bottom of the barrel stuff. Lemon Heads, Nerds, Twitty, yeah. Well,
Delicious.
I feel pretty good about ours. I think that you had a very controversial number 1 overall pick. But overall, a pretty good list. You feel good about that?
I do.
Okay. Guys, we're going to introduce a segment here that we have not done before. I polled followers a long time ago on this, and I want you to continue to send these to dontmakemecomebackthere@gmail.com, and these are some ones we got on Instagram for a while back. But this is installment 1 of Ask a Dad, where you ask a random question to a dad, where you ask a dad a serious question and you get a terrible dad answer. Melissa has hand-selected a couple that she's going to read me in this episode of Ask a Dad. Again, please shoot these to dontmakemecomebackthere@gmail.com. So, Melissa, we have 2 Ask a Dads today. What do you got for Ask a Dads?
You ready?
I am ready.
How do you teach your children to manage anger?
I think the way to teach your children to manage anger is to be an example to them. And by that, I mean a bad example. If you just be a terrible example of anger to them, then you can show them something that they should and should not be and not want to be.
Like lead by example?
Lead by example. That's a good, when people say lead by...
say, not as I do.
When people say lead by example, they don't say lead by bad example. And maybe they should. Maybe they
lead by a bad example.
Yeah, I think the key is to lead by bad example. If you just yell at your kids every once in a while, or maybe not even do it directly, one of the most valuable things that you could do as a dad is go to your room, punch a wall, break your hand, and therefore teach your kids not to punch walls.
Leading by example.
You need to lead by bad example.
You teach them the lesson by teaching it to yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, they watch the tears come down in your eyes as you grit through pain
as I drive you to the ER.
Pain and emotion that you were never taught to deal with, and you have now taken out on this wall. And
as you re-drywall it?
Well, you're upset about a lot of things.
Yeah.
You realize now that not only does your hand hurt, you've actually created more problems than you had in the first place. What you were upset about was the cable company didn't come in the window they said they were going to.
Yeah.
And now you have a broken finger and a wall with a hole in it.
And no cable.
So nothing got better. You made things worse. Your wife is not sad for you. She's so annoyed by you that you realize your anger gets you nowhere in life. Anger gets you absolutely nowhere in life. It gets you a broken finger and an eye roll from your spouse.
It's true.
And then you just make sure the kids know that.
But you also don't admit that you're in fault.
Never. Oh, no.
Or that this anger caused said broken hand and hole in the wall.
No,
you stuff that down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you go and cover up the wall.
With like a dresser.
Yeah.
Like you cover up your emotional problems.
Because your dad never taught you to be handy.
And now you can't move the dresser.
Another option would be to, when your children get mad, to not escalate with them, to not mirror neurons, to come down to their level, to be their peace, to show them that even in the midst of turmoil and frustration and hurt, that you can control your emotions, that you can rise above them, that you can remember the effects of how your decisions and your words and your actions can negatively affect the people that you love. Or you could just punch a wall. You could do And
one of those is way easier.
One of those is way, way easier to execute in the moment. So I hope that helps.
All right.
All right. Question number 2.
Whew. All right. How can I ensure I continue the cycle of a lack of emotional vulnerability in my family?
Well, the good news is, as a dad, that just happens, baby. That just happens. The cycle of a lack of emotional vulnerability.
Hardwired?
You don't have to try. That just keeps going. That is just a train that never stops. It breaks down, but it never really stops. It's broken. It's not driving on the tracks anymore. It's hitting a lot of sheep in the fields as it's going. It's every passenger on it is jumped off, and the one who is trying to conduct the train is injured because it's been such a bumpy ride. But it'll just keep going. You don't have to try it on that one. I think
just press in.
Just keep pressing. Well, the trick is
don't look back.
Don't look back. But what I was going to say was you continue the process of a lack of emotional vulnerability by every once in a while trying to be emotionally vulnerable and then realizing you don't have the skills for this. You don't have the ability to do this.
Yeah.
Your brain is a wreck right now. Your brain is telling you your brain is telling you that you want to cry, and then you remembered that you can't let people see you cry.
Yeah.
And so now, as the emotion comes, you're inhaling tears with your eyes somehow. You're sucking them back in. You're defying gravity and biology as you just suck a tear back up into your eye. And you realize that no one in your life is prepared for you to be emotional.
Yeah.
So it's just best that you don't.
It's true.
Yeah, because the times
coworkers.
that you have, it's gone so poorly.
Tunnel vision. Yeah.
Another option would be to seek therapy, to have people in your life that you trust and you can truly be vulnerable and let your guard down with. And to know that their responses to that are not a reflection of you or your value as a person, but you know that more so than anything, that this person loves you and they care for you and they want the best for you and they are safe for you. Whatever it is that you're feeling, as complicated as it may be, as much of a train wreck of an emotion that may be, you can share that with them and you can begin to heal and make progress and be healthier, and then you can model that for your children. Or just keep plowing away, baby.
Hey, Dustin.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Ask a Dad.
As we wrap up this episode, I just want to keep in mind that, Steven is at Disneyland right now.
That's true.
And so just keep Steven in mind.
Yeah, keep Steven in your prayers. Steven is probably dealing with a lot of anger right now and it's going to be.
So Steven, tune in.
Steven may have punched
He might be on a Disney train right now.
Yeah, he may have punched one of those cool walls that you stand in line in for an hour and a half. You're like, oh,
one
cool.
of the many trash cans.
Oh my gosh.
Or strollers.
Let's do one thing real quick. We're going to end with a Bingo Dingo review of Melissa and I took something in this last week. We went to a concert. We went and saw Florence and the Machine here in San Diego. Melissa, let me set up for context here. Well, you just give your review, then I'll talk. How many Bingo Dingos are you giving Florence's? Not Florence the Machine as a band, but Florence the Machine's performance
in San Diego.
Here in San Diego at the Cal Coast Credit Union.
I'm giving it 5 out of 5 Bingo Dingos. It was electric, and there was so much energy. She was a fantastic performer.
So good.
So much crowd interaction. It was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She is just so good live.
So good live. Especially
in that environment.
Yeah,
because we saw her at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was not the same.
Well, that goes into mine, which I would give this show a 4.9 out of 5, which is about as high as I give on a Bingo Dingo. Fantastic. There was nitpicky things. Like, she didn't thank the band. Maybe she doesn't. But then I was like, I said that earlier to you earlier. I was like, every person thanks the band. Then I was like, well, maybe they don't. I don't know. What do I care?
Right. But, or maybe she thought she already did. I don't know.
She might have already.
Maybe she's not.
Maybe the band doesn't care to. I don't know. None of it matters.
She writes her songs and she performs her songs.
I'm being so nitpicky right now. The show was incredible. She was great. But really, I think the takeaway is don't see bands in LA. Every show I go into LA is garbage. If I had seen the band in Seattle on the road or in San Diego and I see them in LA, it's always worse. And it's not the comedian, the creator, the musician. It's not their fault. It's the crowd's fault. LA is not a great city for live shows. There's too much industry there. It's too much. There's too much vanity there. They're not diehard super fans. They're people who their reps got tickets. They have just a bunch of money. This is like the old.
It's all comped.
Well, you know what it is people talk about like in Seattle, the Seahawks, they said like the ticket prices got too high.
Yeah.
And therefore the Seahawks aren't as loud as they used to be.
Right.
Because a bunch of Microsofties from Redmond aren't it. You need a bunch of plumbers from Renton to come up who don't talk to their kids if they lose the game. That's going to be a better live environment. And that's what we were looking at in San Diego. There were so many people like dressed as Florence. I don't remember seeing any of that. And that was at the Bowl, a much bigger venue.
Yeah, like flowy dresses, bunch of nature crowns and
nature crowns.
A variety of ages. Yeah.
So much better.
It was
great show.
Yeah.
She crushed it. All right.
So good.
Speaking of great show today, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you guys so much, and we will see you next week.
All right.
Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Wanted to give a special shout out to our As Essential as Oils patrons. That's our $25 a month and up level patrons. Thank you so much for your support of the podcast and Dustin Nickerson comedy. That is Trey Turner, Nathan and Jennifer Merritt, Adam Bush, Jennifer Ashley Downs, Juliana Smith, Jordan Cowan, Code to Grow, Courtney Eibling, Lori Amos, Dave and Melissa Cox, Isaac Terron, Farrah Journey, Bonnie Galindo, Carrie Teague, Averill Griffiths, Jessica Sewell, Rachel Kennedy, Dave Hoagland, Demarius Diaz-Stevens, Nicole Carraz, and Tiffany Payne. Thank you so much, everybody.